Excuses are self-imposed chains. They are invisible shackles that bind the strongest of men and the most brilliant of women. They do not appear as enemies, they disguise themselves as friends. They come dressed in logic, in reason, in sympathy. They whisper, wait until you are ready. Wait until you have more money. Wait until someone helps you. Wait until the time is right. But the truth is the time is never right, and excuses will never set you free. Excuses are prisons you build with your own words, and then you step inside, lock the door, and hand away the key. Think of how many dreams have died not because they were impossible, but because of excuses. A dream did not perish because the person lacked talent. It did not wither because the person lacked opportunity. It perished because the person clothed themselves in reasons why it could not be done. Every excuse is a rope that ties you to the ground while your soul longs to fly. Your spirit was made for the skies, yet excuses clip your wings and convince you to crawl. Excuses are easy, they always are. It takes no courage to say, I can't. It takes no vision to say, it's too late. It takes no strength to say, maybe someday. Excuses require no effort, but they cost you everything. Every time you choose an excuse, you delay your greatness. Every time you let an excuse speak for you, you silence the voice of your own power. Life does not reward excuses, it rewards action. The people who rise, the ones you admire, the ones who shape history, are not those who had perfect conditions. They are the ones who moved forward despite imperfect conditions. They did not allow excuses to dictate their destiny. They could have said, I am too young, I am too old, I don't have enough resources, I don't know enough people. But instead, they chose the language of action. I will. I can. I must. And the moment they killed their excuses, life opened doors that had seemed locked. Excuses are a form of self-betrayal. You betray your own potential every time you say, I can't. You betray the gifts inside you when you insist, it's not possible. The truth is, nothing outside of you is as powerful as what is within you. The only true enemy that can defeat you is the excuse you believe. And here lies the danger. Excuses sound rational, they sound safe, they sound protective. But in reality, they are poison. Poison to your spirit, poison to your progress, poison to your future. Some people say, but my excuse is real. I really don't have money. I really don't have support. I really don't have time. And yet, how many people have risen from nothing with no money, no support, no education, and built lives of greatness? The difference was not in resources but in resolve. The excuse may feel justified, but it is still a chain. And chains, no matter how reasonable, still enslave you. The only way to break them is to decide once and for all that you will no longer tolerate excuses in your life. Excuses are clever. They will shift and change as you grow. When you are young, they tell you, you are not experienced enough. When you grow older, they whisper, you are too old now. When you are starting out, they say, you don't have enough knowledge. When you become wise, they hiss, it's too late to begin. They are shape-shifters, always adjusting to keep you small. But the truth remains unchanged. There is no perfect time, no perfect condition, no perfect moment. The perfect moment is always now. Excuses love comfort zones. They build walls around you and call it safety. They convince you that avoiding risk is wisdom, when in reality, it is bondage. True wisdom is not in hiding from life, but in stepping boldly into it. You were not born to play it safe. You were not created to sit in the shadows of someday. You were designed to rise, to shine, to stretch, to grow, to conquer. And that requires you to shatter the excuses that have kept you bound. Imagine standing at the end of your life, looking back. What will hurt you more, the mistakes you made trying or the excuses you made for not trying? Regret is always born of excuses. Regret whispers, if only I had started sooner. If only I had taken the chance. If only I had believed in myself. Excuses protect you from short-term discomfort, but they condemn you to long-term sorrow. Better to face the discomfort of action now than the torment of regret later. Excuses are also contagious. When you live by excuses, you teach others to do the same. You influence your children, your friends, your community. You normalize mediocrity. You normalize inaction. But when you kill excuses, when you rise despite difficulty, when you say, I will create a way, you inspire others to do the same. You become a living example that excuses have no power over a determined spirit. The most dangerous thing about excuses is that they sound like truth, but they are lies. They sound like protection, but they are traps. They sound like wisdom, but they are deceit. The moment you recognize this, you begin to take your power back. The moment you say, this excuse is not my master, I am, you begin to walk in freedom. Excuses are only chains if you accept them. Refuse them, and they dissolve into nothing. So what must you do? You must kill them. Kill them before they kill your destiny. Kill them before they kill your confidence. Kill them before they kill your joy. Kill them before they kill your future. How do you kill an excuse? With a decision. A decision that says, I am no longer waiting. I am no longer hiding. I am no longer telling stories about why I cannot. I am stepping out. I am moving forward. I am doing it now. And here is the miracle. When you kill your excuses, you awaken a force within you that has been waiting all along. The force of courage. The force of vision. The force of faith. The moment you step beyond excuses, the way appears. What once seemed impossible begins to unfold. People, resources, opportunities, all of them align with the one who dares to act without excuses. Excuses may have bound you yesterday, but they do not own you today. Your past does not have to dictate your future. Your failures do not have to define your destiny. Your lack does not have to decide your outcome. The only thing that decides is your word, your belief, your action. And if you choose to live excuse-free, you choose to live free indeed. Look closely at your life right now. Where are the excuses hiding? In your career, in your health, in your relationships, in your dreams. Wherever they are, drag them into the light. Call them by name, and then kill them. Replace I can't with I will. Replace someday with today. Replace I don't have enough with I will start with what I have. This is how chains are broken. The greatest tragedy is not a person who fails, it is a person who never tries because of excuses. Failure is not fatal, excuses are. Failure teaches, shapes, grows. Excuses shrink, weaken, and destroy. Failure can be redeemed, but excuses rob you before you even begin. That is why you must be ruthless with them. Do not negotiate with excuses. Do not reason with them. Do not comfort them. Kill them. Only then will you taste the fullness of the life that is waiting for you. Excuses are self-imposed chains. They do not come from your environment, your circumstances, or the people around you. They come from within. And if they come from within, then you have the power to end them. The same mind that invents excuses can also invent solutions. The same mouth that utters excuses can also declare possibilities. The same heart that hides behind excuses can also leap forward in faith. You are stronger than your excuses. You are greater than your excuses. You are destined for more than your excuses will ever allow. Do not live another day bound by chains of your own making. Break them, kill them, rise above them. Step into the life that belongs to you. Because in the end, excuses will never hold you back. It is only your belief in them that does. The moment you stop believing the lie, you start living the truth. And the truth is this: you were born powerful. You were born capable. You were born ready. Kill your excuses and watch the doors of destiny swing wide open. Excuses are the most polished lies we tell ourselves. They sound logical, reasonable, even protective. They whisper, wait until you're ready. It's not the right time. You don't have enough resources. Or what if you fail? But in truth, excuses are smoke. Smoke that blinds you from the reality that everything you need is already within you. The difference between those who live their destiny and those who live in regret is not talent, not opportunity, not even luck. It is action. Action destroys excuses. Life responds to movement, not hesitation. You can speak affirmations, you can dream, you can write down your goals, but if you never act, your excuses will keep you bound. Every excuse you hold on to becomes a chain around your potential. Yet every action, no matter how small, shatters those chains. The moment you step forward, you silence the voice of limitation. Excuses lose their power the instant you move. Think about this: the river does not ask, what if the rocks are too big? It flows anyway, and in flowing, it carves valleys, it shapes landscapes, it creates new paths where none existed. That is the power of action. You may not see the entire way forward, but when you move, the way is revealed. Excuses wait for proof before they believe. Action creates proof. How many dreams have died in the graveyard of excuses? People wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect timing, the perfect plan. But there is no such thing. The perfect time is the time you decide. The perfect plan is the one you start. The perfect condition is the courage to take the first step. Action is the secret that transforms a dream into reality. Excuses make you a prisoner of tomorrow, but action makes you the master of today. Excuses thrive in silence, in delay, in overthinking. They feed on your hesitation. But the moment you act, they starve. When you act, you tell the universe, I am ready, and the universe moves to meet you. Action is the proof of belief. Anyone can say they have faith, but only action demonstrates it. Faith without action is empty words. The door is opened not by wishing but by knocking. The harvest is not gathered by hoping but by sowing. The miracle does not come by sitting still. It comes by moving forward. Excuses disguise themselves as protection, but they are nothing but fear in costume. Fear tells you that if you don't try, you can't fail. But the truth is, not trying is the only true failure. Every step forward, even if imperfect, brings you closer to success. Every action you take builds momentum, and momentum crushes excuses under its weight. Action turns fear into fuel. Action turns doubt into evidence. Action turns excuses into ashes. When you act, something shifts in the unseen. The invisible becomes visible. The impossible becomes possible. The locked doors swing open. Why? Because the universe responds to energy, and action is energy in motion. You cannot sit still and expect the tides to change. You cannot sit in the dark and wait for the sun to rise inside your room. You must open the window and let the light in. Excuses will tell you the window is too heavy, the light is too bright, or the timing is wrong, but action says, open it now, and when you do, the light floods in. Greatness has never been born from excuses. Greatness is born from people who acted when they didn't feel ready, who moved when the path wasn't clear, who dared when everyone else hesitated. Every invention, every movement, every breakthrough was the result of action. The dreamers became doors, and in doing, they silenced their excuses forever. There is a law in life: action precedes clarity. You don't need to have it all figured out before you begin. Begin, and the path will unfold. Excuses demand certainty, but life rewards courage. The moment you take action, the fog lifts, the answers appear, the helpers arrive. Excuses lock you in the prison of overthinking, but action sets you free. Consider the farmer. If he waited until the weather was perfect, he would never plant. If he doubted every seed, he would never see a harvest. But he plants anyway, trusting that life will respond. Action is that seed. You may not see the result today, but tomorrow it grows. Excuses tell you, don't bother planting, the soil is too dry, the rain may not come, the work is too hard. But action says, plant anyway, and in planting, the miracle begins. Excuses live in the future. They always promise tomorrow, tomorrow I'll start, tomorrow I'll try, tomorrow I'll change. But tomorrow never comes. There is only today. The only real moment you have is now. Action lives in the present. Action says, today I move, today I act, today I create. The moment you step into action, you kill the excuse of someday. Someday is a thief, today is a builder. Action is also the greatest teacher. Excuses pretend they are protecting you from mistakes, but in truth, mistakes are your stepping stones. Every action, even the wrong one, carries a lesson that moves you closer to success. Excuses keep you in the classroom of theory forever, but action graduates you into the school of experience. Wisdom is not given to those who wait, it is revealed to those who act. Excuses are powered by fear, but fear itself is a lie. Fear only exists in the imagination. The moment you act, fear dissolves. Fear cannot survive momentum. It cannot stand in the presence of courage. Action is courage in motion. Every time you act, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than your fears, bigger than your doubts, and greater than your excuses. The question is not whether you have excuses. We all do. The question is whether you will feed them or starve them. Action starves excuses. Every step you take is a declaration. I am stronger than my story. I am greater than my limitation. I am done waiting for perfect. Action is the sword that cuts through the web of lies your mind weaves. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff, waiting for the fear to go away before you jump. It never will. The fear dissolves only when you leap. The same is true with excuses. They will never vanish on their own. You cannot negotiate with them. You cannot reason them away. You must act in spite of them. You must destroy them with movement. The life you desire is waiting for you, but it is guarded by your excuses. The longer you wait, the stronger they seem. But the moment you act, they fall apart like paper walls. They look solid, but they are fragile. They look strong, but they crumble under the weight of determination. Action is the hammer that smashes the wall between you and your destiny. So what excuse is holding you today? Is it lack of time? Action creates time by showing you what truly matters. Is it lack of money? Action attracts money by creating opportunity. Is it lack of knowledge? Action teaches you what no book ever could. Is it fear of failure? Action proves that failure is simply feedback, not finality. Every excuse has an answer, and the answer is always action. There is power inside you greater than any excuse. You were not created to sit on the sidelines. You were created to walk boldly, to create, to command, to conquer. Excuses weaken you, but action awakens you. Every time you act, you align with your true nature, the nature of growth, expansion, and victory. Excuses keep you small, but action reveals your greatness. Excuses say, stay safe. Action says, step up. Excuses say, you're not ready. Action says, you are ready enough. Excuses say, wait until tomorrow. Action says, do it today. Which voice will you obey? The voice of limitation or the voice of power? You have one life, one chance, one moment called now. Don't waste it feeding excuses. Don't let your story be written in regrets. Don't let your dreams die unborn. Kill your excuses with action. Move, even if you're afraid. Step, even if you stumble. Try, even if you fall. Because in the end, it is not the excuses you kept that will matter. It is the actions you took. Action destroys excuses. Action builds bridges, breaks barriers, creates miracles. Action turns impossible into done. Action is the voice of faith, the hand of courage, the proof of belief. Take the step, make the call, write the page, start the business, begin the journey. Whatever your excuse, silence it now with action. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not someday. Now stand tall, breathe deep, and move. Do not explain, do not delay, do not wait. Just act, and as you do, watch how your excuses dissolve, watch how the doors open, watch how life itself bows to your decision. For the universe is waiting, not for your reasons, but for your action. Kill your excuses. Step forward, act now, and you will discover that everything you dreamed of was always possible, always waiting, just on the other side of action. Greatness demands responsibility, not reasons. That is the truth too many run from and too few are willing to embrace. You see, excuses are comfortable. They give us permission to remain where we are. They soothe us when we are afraid to rise. They whisper that tomorrow will be easier, that conditions will be better, that the world will somehow rearrange itself to favor our hesitation. But life is not moved by excuses. It is moved by action, faith, and responsibility. The greatest mistake a human being can make is to think that greatness is given, handed over without demand, or unlocked by chance. No, greatness does not come cheaply. It does not bend to reasons. It does not bow to hesitation. Greatness bows to responsibility, when you stand tall and take ownership of your choices, your actions, and your destiny. If you want to live a life that matters, a life of power, a life of fulfillment, you must stop rehearsing reasons and start living responsibility. You must stop telling yourself why it cannot be done, and instead declare, "It will be done because I will it so." Life is waiting to see who will step into their authority. Every time you give a reason for why you are not where you want to be, you are telling life that excuses matter more than destiny. Every time you tell a story about why you cannot, you are reinforcing the prison bars of your own limitation. The moment you stop excusing and start assuming responsibility, those bars dissolve like mist before the morning sun. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a crown. Responsibility is the recognition that you are not powerless. It is the acceptance that your choices carry weight, that your words carry power, and that your actions shape the very circumstances you live in. Those who shrink from responsibility shrink from greatness. Those who embrace responsibility rise into kingship, into mastery, into the fullness of their destiny. Think about it. What has an excuse ever built? What has an excuse ever created? Excuses have never fed a hungry mouth, healed a broken heart, or lifted a soul from despair. Excuses are barren, lifeless things. They produce nothing but regret. Responsibility, on the other hand, creates empires, heals wounds, builds bridges, and transforms lives. Responsibility takes a person from obscurity to influence, from weakness to strength, from doubt to certainty. There is a law written in the fabric of existence: what you claim responsibility for, you gain power over. If you claim responsibility for your success, you gain power to create it. If you claim responsibility for your health, you gain power to improve it. If you claim responsibility for your finances, your relationships, your purpose, you gain the authority to reshape them. But if you hand those areas of your life over to excuses, to blame, to reasons, then you hand over your authority as well. Responsibility is the doorway through which greatness enters. If you want the crown, you must bear the weight. If you want the victory, you must embrace the discipline. If you want the reward, you must accept the responsibility. Too many people crave greatness but resist responsibility, and so they live in mediocrity, chained by reasons, bound by excuses. But let me tell you the truth: there is no excuse strong enough to stop a person who has decided to take responsibility. The world may say you are too late, too old, too inexperienced, too poor, too broken, too unprepared. Those are reasons, but responsibility says, "I will begin now. I will use what I have. I will walk with what is in my hands, and greater doors will open as I move." Excuses paralyze, responsibility activates. Excuses silence, responsibility speaks. Excuses drain, responsibility energizes. Excuses build walls, responsibility builds bridges. Excuses delay, responsibility accelerates. Which voice will you choose? The truth is this: the greatest tragedy is not that people lack potential, but that they bury their potential under reasons. They rehearse their failures, they repeat their fears, they remind themselves of all the ways they might fall. And so they never rise, they never stretch, they never taste the fullness of their own greatness. But greatness does not come to the one who reasons. It comes to the one who acts, who owns, who accepts responsibility without flinching. When you decide to stop excusing, you set into motion an unseen force. Doors begin to open, opportunities appear, strength you did not know you had begins to rise. Why? Because the universe itself honors responsibility. Life is not partial to excuses, it responds to power. It responds to boldness. It responds to those who are willing to say, "I will no longer delay. I will no longer give reasons. I will rise now." Think of every great soul who has walked this earth. They did not become great by giving reasons for why they could not. They became great by embracing the responsibility for why they must. They took responsibility not only for their lives, but for the lives of others. They stood up when it was easier to sit down. They spoke when silence seemed safer. They acted when hesitation felt more comfortable. That is why their names echo through history. And you, yes, you are capable of the same. There is greatness written into your very being. But it will not awaken through excuses. It will not blossom through reasons. It will come alive when you take responsibility for your gifts, your voice, your purpose, your choices. It will come alive when you stop waiting for conditions to be perfect and decide to move with what you have. Stop saying, I will, when, and start saying, I will. Now stop waiting for someone else to clear the path, and instead declare, I will walk, and the path will clear before me. Responsibility is not waiting. It is creating. Responsibility is not fearing, it is daring. Responsibility is not excusing, it is choosing. And let me tell you, responsibility is freedom. Excuses feel safe, but they are cages. Responsibility feels heavy at first, but it is wings. Excuses keep you small, responsibility makes you soar. Excuses bind you to yesterday, responsibility propels you into tomorrow. Every excuse you kill is a chain you break. Every responsibility you embrace is a door you unlock. Step by step, decision by decision, responsibility will take you into realms you once thought were impossible. So today I challenge you, kill the reasons, lay down the excuses. Pick up the crown of responsibility. Say to yourself, I am the author of my story. I am the commander of my destiny. I will no longer bow to reasons, I will rise with responsibility. And when you do, watch how the world changes around you. Watch how doors open. Watch how strength rises. Watch how miracles manifest. Because greatness demands responsibility, not reasons. And when you choose responsibility, greatness will choose you. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for another reason to hold you back. The moment is now. The call is clear. Kill your excuses. Embrace responsibility. Walk in greatness. Because the truth is this: excuses are the language of the ordinary. Responsibility is the language of the extraordinary. And you, my friend, were not born for ordinary. You were born for extraordinary. Take responsibility. Kill the excuses. Step into great.